All right. I will already apologize for it now because thank God I turned this into a podcast because my clothes are not dry and Heather is not the best time management person. And I have somewhere to be, so my pants gotta get dry. So hopefully I can find a way to edit the sound out. Or I will find a way to edit the sound out that is like happening from my washer and my dryer because help me Lord and help me be on time to the things I need to be on time for so we actually cannot take that long with this. So first episode tings. What's up y'all and welcome back to my channel and now podcast. I know we'll talk about it because I have no jewelry. I have on none of the things, guys. I'm literally like rushing, but this is also part of the reason why I turned it into a podcast. But before we get into all that, I just wanted to say thank you for clicking on whatever you clicked on to get here. Okay. Wherever you're watching from, if you're watching on YouTube, if you are listening on wherever I upload this podcast, because I haven't figured all that out just yet. And but I'm going to do that eventually, but like, not right now. So like whatever you clicked on to get here, whatever you clicked on to get here, to watch or to listen, shout out to you and thank you so much. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe wherever you found this, wherever we are right now. Do it. And make sure that you follow me on all social medias, Instagram, the TikTok, while we still got it, do the things. And make sure that you're following the Somewhere Between Instagram page as well. If we just have to get all that out the way and then we can get into the things because I'm really on a time crunch, but maybe that'll be great and this will not be like 30 hours long. Yeah. Welcome to Somewhere Between, home for all who are somewhere between psychotic and iconic. I want it and I got it, and crashing out and locking in. And wherever you happen to fall today, thank you for being here with me, Somewhere Between. We are here to talk it out so we can get it out, so we can continue to walk it out and do all the things that God has called us to do and that we have set for ourselves. You know what I mean? Because two things can exist at one time, where you feel like the world is crashing and it's all this chaos, and also where there's all this joy and expectancy and excitement for what you're building and what you're doing. And we have to hold on to the latter of it all, even when we feel the opposite. So welcome to Somewhere Between, child, and let's get into this episode. Okay, did y'all like that? I might spice it up a little bit, but welcome back. I know y'all probably like thought that like I had disappeared and all the things, and that it was just gonna be another thing that I started, and y'all was gonna be like, that girl, she be having good ideas but she don't never see it through. But I appreciate you all for sticking with me, or just giving me the space that I needed as I processed and grieved, and am still grieving the passing of my papa, which today is his birthday. So happy birthday, papa. And I just thank you for that time to do that. But while I was doing that, I did not forget about y'all at all. And friend, look what I did. So let's get into it, right? How long child she vacuuming outside? It's a lot going on out here. It's a lot going on over here, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I went against exactly what I said I wanted to do, because if I did not have this mic right now, I would be going freaking insane, because child, my clothes is drying because I got an event that I'm gonna have to go to, and the lady is vacuuming outside, which God bless that lady for doing that. God bless that woman for doing that. But so y'all, I did what I did not want to do. I started a podcast. I did it. We did it, Joe. We did it. Why did I do it? So obviously y'all know that I don't have to get into the whole thing, right? If you want to hear me talk about the whole thing, about how we even got here, make sure that you watch language, words. Make sure that you watch the first episode of Somewhere Between. Go ahead and get all caught up or whatever, and get into that. But when God told me, to come back to this space, this creative space, this to YouTube and all the things, I was like, okay, it has to be like I'm doing YouTube. Duh. Obviously, times have changed from when I started YouTube, and now everything is a podcast, and everyone has a podcast, and da da da. And then I was just like, I do not want to do a podcast. Like, if you've heard me ever, like, you would know that, like, I literally be like, I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast. Wait, y'all see my mic? It's changing colors. I'm set it on one. Hold on, let me set it on one so it's not distracted, y'all, because that would distract me. That would distract me. Anyway, I was gung ho about not doing a podcast. I was like, absolutely not. No, I'm just gonna do, a YouTube channel. Cause I hate when people be like, oh, I have a podcast, but like it's not a podcast. It's just a YouTube channel. So just call it a YouTube channel. But then I learned you got video podcast. So, I had to eat that one. But really part of the reason why I did not want to do a podcast once I boiled down to it was that it would be a whole other medium for me to learn. And honestly, y'all, it's a lot on your gear plate right now. Like, y'all see the chaos, or I've shared some of the chaos that's happening right now in this moment. And I'm learning to juggle all of these things that have to be juggled and have to be managed. And the idea of like having to, learn a completely different medium in starting something that I really didn't, feel like I had the capacity to start to begin with, felt like a lot. So I was like, I just need to start with the entry point that I know and keep it pushing. If it turns into that, cool. And if it doesn't, whatever. But I did have a very specific vision in my mind. And honestly, this is what she was. And once I surrendered to the idea of just turning into a podcast, it actually felt very freeing, and I got excited because I was talking to my therapist about it, because like I have a therapist. Shout out to me for being in therapy for like almost a year. And she was just like, you just don't sound excited about it. You don't. And I was just like, I'm not. Like I am. I am about doing the work and getting to connect and getting to create this space again. But the obligation of like putting something on just felt like that's not even a place that I want to speak from. And that's absolutely opposite of the space that I want Somewhere Between to be. I wanted it to be an authentic, safe space for not just you, but for me too, to be able to do what God told me to do while also feeling like I was being true to myself. And I feel like, not even I feel like, when I first started YouTube, the way that I was doing it just felt like, let's be honest, like it just felt like I had to like be on and be performative and like, know what I was saying and how I was saying it. And I couldn't just like flow type deal. And I wanted to be able to flow, because when I can just flow and talk and yap, I feel like that's when God does his best work in me and through me. And so it actually became very freeing, because even in my work and my acting, I'm working on, dismantling the initial ideas and like foundations that I thought about what it had to be and what it was. Because what we think it is far from what it actually is. And the less I feel like I'm coming from a space of performing, the better my work is, the more authentic it is. And so that's what I wanted to do with this. And have been able to do that. And in the process of that, I was like, okay, I got to get a peer space. I got to do this. I got to get a mic. I get all this equipment, and nothing felt right. And also, the girl didn't have the money. Okay, we did not have that money to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to build it myself. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to build it. And that's exactly what I did. And so I was able to build my own little corner in my own little chair, so I could be whoever I wanted to be. If you don't get the reference, mm, mm, I'm not judging you. We listen and we don't judge, but you need to watch Cinderella, the black one. Thank you. Anyway. And so I built this, and it feels like exactly what I wanted it to be. Like I couldn't, when you can't like see it, but you just know what it is and what you want to create. And as I started, really building this set and building, creating the new extension of Somewhere Between, I was like, oh, wait, I really did. Yeah, like I could do it. Like, baby, I put the wallpaper up. I did the things. We did it. Like, all of this is so me, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And if you're listening on podcast, you can't see it, but honey, like everything in here is like me. I know I need to like probably move that down, but y'all can't see that. But like even this, love you more, me. This picture, this painting by Ernie. Can't recall his last name because I had y'all. Why I get another concussion? Y'all got a whole other concussion, car accident is a whole thing. We'll talk about it later, but not right now because we got to keep it moving. But yeah, all of this is like me, and it feels so good, so good. And I was like actually excited and like I won't lie to you, I would get frustrated when like other things would pop up because I'd be like, I want to do my podcast. I want to get to work on Somewhere Between and all the things. And so this makes me feel really, really good and really excited that I was just able to do this. I feel like a lot of times we let the anticipation of a thing keep us from starting the thing. And you only can learn by doing. It's really the anticipation of the thing that scares us because once you actually do the thing, it's really not that scary. It's really not that bad. And you actually realize that it may not take as much time as you think it might take if you set yourself up for success. You just have to trust the things that you know in that moment, start, and trust that you'll learn what you need to know as you go. But if you never start, you're never going to find out. And I just had to start. Like, of course, like I've recorded some demos and stuff just so that I could get, figure out the lighting that I wanted and this and that and, how I wanted the setup to be so that when I did actually like sit down, I wouldn't feel anxiety about it. It would just be something that I could just like jump into and like do. And that's exactly what happened today. Like I realized, oh my God, I got a lot going on today and have less time than I thought because, I had to have my moment, y'all, because I really do miss my pawpaw. I really do. But this also had to get done. And so because I set myself up for success just by starting and just by trying, I was able to just jump into this thing and do it. And so I encourage anyone who is beginning a new journey or knows they need to start a new journey or whatever it may be to just start with what you got and figure it out as you go and learn and apply. Because at the end of the day, who gonna pop me? Who gonna pop me? I'm sure that when I look back at this, later on this week or tomorrow, because I'm going to have to start editing, I'm going to find 5,000 things that are wrong with this. But at least I gave myself something to work with. Same thing with the first video that I did. I was like, the sound is ridiculous. I need a mic. And in me getting a mic, it turned into, well, if I get the mic, then I might as well do this and I might as well do that. And it'll just all lead to the next thing. So just start and trust yourself. Okay. So yeah. And shout out to my board of directors. Okay, shout out to my daddy, my mama. My dad made official Somewhere Between mugs already. Child, first little episode, Somewhere Between mugs. So shout out to my daddy, Heath Harris. Child, he kept calling it a podcast anyway. And so I was like, maybe he being prophetic. So here we are, Somewhere Between, on the podcast, on the YouTube, doing all the things. And honestly, I have the right to change my mind. And the older that I'm getting, I'm changing my mind about a lot of things. And child, my birthday next week. Okay, my birthday tomorrow. My birthday tomorrow. My birthday tomorrow. My birthday tomorrow. My birthday's tomorrow. And as I'm reflecting on all the things that like I've learned that have changed about me, I'm so much better for all of it. And so I'm glad that I changed my mind, and I'm glad that I turned this into a podcast, because the goal for me is, not only connecting with y'all, not only being obedient to what God put on my heart to do and to create and to share, but also being consistent and doing what is easiest for me to accomplish the goal. And what I learned about myself is that I'm really not afraid to fail. I'm really not, because it's not failing. It's only failing if I quit. It's only failing if I let me not understanding it the first time around stop me. It's only failing if I don't learn something from it. And I'm not. So I'll stop and I'll start and I'll start and I'll stop and I'll do all the things until I get it right, until it happens. because it's gonna happen, and it's gonna click, and everything's gonna come together eventually, and I just have to keep going. And I'm realizing that I'm not as afraid to get it wrong as I think I am, because how else are you gonna get it right if you don't at least try? And sometimes you got to get it wrong to get it right, and I'm okay with doing that. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we are. Cause child, I'm literally just a girl. Okay. I'm literally just a girl. And life is a test that I did not study for. Okay. And how could I study? How could I study for this? I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they are doing. They're figuring it out the same way that I'm going to figure out if this washer and dryer is really going to, jack up the whole setup of everything that I want to do. But I need to get this done. I need to get this done, and I'm not going to find out all the answers to the questions that I have until I do it. You know, granted, I'm very, I stubborn. I would not say stubborn, but some other people might. I'm a very strong-willed person. I'm a very strong-willed person. I know what I want most times. And starting something new like this that is scary for me. Like this is scary, because I've always said that I wanted to be an actor that had influence, not an influencer that can act. And so there was a time that I had to step away from this so that I could build my career. But I've done that, and I feel like I have a really solid foundation of who I am, how I show up in the world, and I think it's very clear, and also I didn't want anyone to belittle this as some little side project that I was just doing because I have nothing else going on with my acting career. Like, child, let me actually tell you something. Let me be very honest with you. There is so much happening over there. There's so much happening with my acting career that I'm like, child, I can't even talk about some of the things. But like I just booked a job. I'm going back to Texas because I just booked a commercial, and I'm super excited about that. And I cannot wait to share what that is when I can actually share it, what it is, and how much it means to me. But yeah, like this is not that. I'm doing it because God put me on assignment to do it, and because it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I wanted it to come from that place. I didn't want it to come from a place of, oh, I'm doing this because I need to get some money and I need to do this on TikTok and da da da, whatever. Like, no, obviously, your girl ain't had no job. So hello. But and if that comes, then it comes. Amen. But most importantly, because it's on my heart to do, and I love this. Like, I love this. Like, I feel so happy that I got to do this and that I got to create. Like, I am anointed to create. And so in me building this set and piecing this all together and figuring out how to, add the audio with the camera and the lights and then this and then that and boom, 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 boom. Like, I'm really like, I'm that girl, like for real. So I'm excited. I'm excited about all of it. But anyway, as I've been on this journey, I've had to ask myself, which is like honestly the question of the day, or my somewhere between of the day of the week. I don't even know how I'm gonna say that, but we'll figure it out. But this week, let's say that. I like that. I like that. We just figured that out together. So thank you for figuring that out with me. This week, I am somewhere between figuring out if I'm doing too much or not doing enough. Like one of my cousins, shout out Dave, literally like a brother to me. He basically is my brother. He hit me up one week and was like, hey, yo, like, are we doing too much? Like, maybe we're doing too much. And I literally was like, yeah, I think it's us. I think it's us. Like, I really think it's us, because sometimes I'll be like, I just need to adjust. I need to expand my capacity, and God is stretching me and do and stretch your tent curtains wide, but other times I'm like, nah, I think it's me. I think I'm doing too much at one time. And I don't know how our parents did this. I don't know how our parents were like, doing all of this at like 27, 28, and then having kids and then paying bills and having and also, granted, we live in a completely different economy now. So the expectations that our parents had when they graduated high school and college and all the things is not the same economy and society that we are living in today. So it is definitely harder for us, literally, like like it's actually a known fact that it is. So that's a whole other thing. So if you've been feeling like that, you're not crazy. It's just literally our world is in a constant state of transition, and like, yeah, so give yourself grace. But um after having that text exchange, because he's a new dad, he got married, they got all these things that they're juggling while he's still trying to pursue his like dream of like being a pilot, which he like is literally a pilot, you know, like I fly like paper, you know. And I've went down this like rabbit hole of like just recognizing that we are literally learning how to manage like all of this stuff, you know, in real time. And there's no manual for this. I mean, it probably is, you know, like being an adult for dummies. Like, I'm sure that that's out there. Someone buy me the book. If it is, we can read it together, you know. But I was telling, actually talk to my friends about this all the time. How like how like we were taught to thrive in a system, right? Like literally, we were in a system, going to school from pre-K all the way to college if you made it that far, and then they were like, all right, go do the thing, you know. And because I thrive in systems, like what, like baby, you throw me in a system, I could do it. But as far as me learning to like build my own system, especially because I'm an artist, like I'm an actor, y'all, like there is no blueprint for that, as much as there is one for like being a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher, you know, or something that's more corporate. Ain't no blueprint for this. And there was not a class that taught me how to build my own system in my life. And anytime I felt like I finally did have a system or a foundation, or like I'm getting into my groove, something happens and everything changes and I have to pivot. And being a person that like craves security and stability and all of that stuff, child, I be losing my mind. I be losing my mind. I be losing my medulla. Okay. And that's a video Cardi B said, but it's fine. And especially because the world is completely different than what we grew up in or what my parents grew up in. I've like been having to ask myself, like, do I have unrealistic expectations? Like, am I crazy? Am I the one that's like really doing too much? But the gag is that I'm allowed to feel like this. I'm allowed to feel these things. I'm allowed to not know what I'm doing. I'm allowed to like really be confused because no one's ever done this before. Nobody's done this before. Okay. And no one's done it as me. You know what I mean? Like even when I think about like my parents and even going through this grieving process of like understanding, you know, with both of my parents, because my mom has lost, you know, her father, and my aunts and my uncles as well. But or in this process of grief, I've had to see and really like even look at my parents and be like, wow, like you're going through this for the first time too. You're just a boy that lost his dad, and now you got to figure that out. And my mom, like, you're just a girl who lost her dad, and now you got to figure that out, while also having to raise these kids and put, you know, food on the table and pay these bills, and even like tend to your own self and your passions. If you know, like, where's the time to do that? Where's the time to do all of these things? And we're all learning these things for the first time together. And so there has to be a grace that is there, and there has to be a gentleness, you know, and a softness. Like I have this picture on my wall, if you can see it, that says, I am my most softest and ruthless I have ever been. Because at the same time that I have all this ambition and all of this fire and boldness and shameless audacity to go after what I want to go after and build what I've never, you know, built before myself, with, you know, with my hands, and experiencing it as a single woman, a Black woman in a city that I was not born and raised in, and all of these different shifts and changes. I have to be kind to myself, so kind and so soft, as I transition in learning these things and talking to myself nice, and also getting clear about what I want and what I don't want. What I thought I wanted 5 years ago, woo! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's gonna like reverberate so loud on this mic. But friend, I was so glad God didn't give it to me. So glad because man, thank God. Okay, because yeah, I could not imagine somebody calling me like I can see the little girl calling me the mama. I could see it, and the husband I could see it, but woo, I'm okay. I'm okay that this is not here yet because I'm figuring out so many things and everything is changing for me. My expectations, um my wants, um my dreams have changed, my needs have changed. I've gotten so specific and clear. I'm learning how to advocate for myself and advocate for those things and not settle. I'm learning how to pivot and show up in ways that I did not think were possible, especially in a season when I want to crumble and when I want to quit and give up. And I'm expanding my capacity in a way that I've never expanded before to become exactly who I've always dreamt and known that I could be. And it's a lot. And I want to honor all of that. And I want to honor all of us for trying, whether you're in high school, whether you are in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, creeping up on them 60s. I don't know, I don't know who's watching this and who's not watching this, but like shout out to you. Shout out to you for doing the most. Shout out to you for, cutting back if you needed to, because we've never done this before in a time like this where we are in the midst of all this tariff stuff. We are in the midst of whatever nonsense Trump is doing, child. Just Lord, all of these things that are happening and constantly changing, and we're still showing up and we're still trying. What? Man, shout out to you. Shout out to us. I've never been me at this stage with all of these things. And in another 5 years it's going to be the same thing, and then in 10 years, in 20, and God willing, beyond that. And even then it's probably going to be scary. And that's going to be hard to say because, I'm too old to not have myself figured out, but then I'm too young to like not know what I'm doing. But like I literally don't know what I'm doing, and I'm learning that nobody knows what they're doing, and that it can be scary at times. But I'm facing that head on with everything that I got, and I hope that you are too. Because we gonna get it done one way or another. Like I forgot, well, I was taping this audition last night with my best friend Renee, and we were doing something, and she was like, "Well, we don't have to do." I said, "No, it's getting done. One thing we gonna do is get it done. At the end of the day, this was gonna get done. This was gonna get taped. So even if you hear a little razzle dazzle in the background because I needed to do my laundry, that's gonna be okay because I'm gonna figure out a way to make it happen because this is gonna get done. It's gonna get uploaded because." This is just what has to happen. And as I'm learning to manage and juggle all of these things and create this new system in my life, not just like, in my life physically, but like in my nervous system, and retraining my nervous system to handle all of these things, it got to get done. If I got to stay up late, I got to stay up late. If I got to wake up early, I got to wake up early. If I can't go home, or I have to push this trip back, then I got to push the trip back. If I got to disappoint this person, then we can have a conversation about it. They know where my heart is. Like, that's just what's going to have to get done because I have to get these auditions done. I have to get this, I have to tape these episodes before I leave. I got to pack. I got to show up and do this for that and go to this person and do this event and eat and this and look hot because I look hot. Okay. Because I look the fuck good, I got to do all of it, and it's going to happen. And when I lay my head down at night, I'm going to know that I did what I could do. And if it didn't get done, it will eventually get done. So yeah, because I know that I'm building a life that is more than what I could have ever imagined or known it could be. And there's so much more. There's so much more. So much more out there. So much more out there than like what I know to be. And I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going until I get on the other side of this because it's going to be glorious. Okay. What I wrote is, so do the most and learn and create systems to manage it or lighten your load and be okay with it. That's it. That's all. Whatever you do, make a choice. Commit to the choice. Commit to the decision that you've made, and everything else will fall in place. Everything else will work itself out. But you got to make a choice. You got to make a decision. You don't have to know what you're doing in order to do it. You just got to do it. Literally, Nike. Okay, get into it. You don't need to listen to any more sermons. You don't need to read any more books. You don't need to do any of that stuff. You just need to apply everything that you know. Start with what you know and go from there. Because who told you that you couldn't? And who gonna pop you if you get it wrong? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. But if you can tell me what to do, you can tell me what to do. Which is the way that I translate that can't nobody criticize me, that can't give me a better directive, that can't give me another option. If you gonna tell me I'm doing something wrong, you better have another option. You better have another option for me. Because if not, I just think that was just not helpful. Anyway, so create the systems, create better systems in your life. Update the same way we got to update our iPhones, the same way you need to update your life, whatever that looks like for you. Figure it out. Change the devotional book. Change the time that you get up. Switch it up. Change it up. Update the system, honey. You are constantly changing. And if you want to be able to operate the same way that you want to operate your iPhone, we got to do what we got to do. And guess what? You don't need permission to do that. You just got to do it. No one's going to give you permission. You are the one that decides. You are the one that does that. So whether you are doing too much or not doing enough, whatever it looks like, figure that out. Make a choice, make a decision. And that's what I did today. Because today I was kind of doing too much. Today I was kind of doing a little, or maybe I just had too much to do. But somehow, some way, everything's going to get done. And I'm going to accomplish everything that I said that I would. So with that being said, thank you for coming and listening to, I want to call this episode 1.2 because technically we already had our first episode, which is on YouTube. So you should make sure that, again, you like, comment, and subscribe and go over there and watch it if you haven't watched it. And also while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to Miss Heather Harris, where I'll also be there doing some things. Anyway, but yeah, we're just figuring it out. And now we have a podcast. So, big bird, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you were literally just listening to my voice alone, God bless you. God bless you. Because, woo, baby, Lord, I know my attention span is like not the best at all. But yeah, as always, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, follow where all podcasts are offered, wherever I uploaded this. And cheers to us figuring it out as we go. Cheers to us being somewhere between, because it's better to be somewhere between than to quit and to give up. And we won't be doing that. So wherever you are, whatever you are between, cheers to you. Because we're going to figure it out one way or another. So until next time, do what you got to do. And I found a really cute closing, for next time. But like for right now, this is what we got to do, because child, I got to go. I'm figuring it out. But hopefully this turns out well and you guys enjoy it. And as always, thank you for loving me. Thank you for sending me so much support and kind words during this time. But I wasn't playing. I'm back and I'm better. And now that I'm able to record anywhere, because I just need a mic. Oh, it's about to be over, yeah. So prepare to be sick of me. In the name of Jesus. Until next time, love you, mean it. Ta-ta, friend. Ta-ta. See you on the next episode.